Imagine discovering a truth so powerful that it threatens the most powerful institution on Earth. A truth written in the stars. And one man brave enough to say it out loud. This is not just a story about science. It's a story about courage, belief, and why the odds were always against Galileo Galilei. In the early 1600s, Europe believed the universe was simple. The Earth stood still. Everything else revolved around it. This wasn't just science, it was religion, law, and absolute truth. To question it wasn't curiosity. It was rebellion. And yet, one man dared to look up and ask, what if we're wrong? Galileo Galilei was born in 1564, in Pisa, Italy. He wasn't raised to challenge the heavens. He was expected to study medicine. But Galileo had a different obsession. Numbers, motion, and questions no one wanted answered. While others accepted tradition, Galileo questioned it. Because for him, truth didn't come from authority. It came from observation. In 1609, Galileo heard about a strange invention from Holland. A telescope. Most people saw it as a toy. Galileo saw a weapon against ignorance. He improved it and pointed it at the night sky. What he saw shocked him. The moon wasn't perfect. It had mountains and shadows. Jupiter had moons of its own. Meaning, not everything revolved around Earth. And Venus? It had phases, just like our moon. The heavens were not divine and flawless. They were physical, measurable, real. Galileo's observation supported a dangerous idea. That the Earth moves around the Sun. A theory proposed earlier by Copernicus, but never proven. Now, Galileo had proof. But here's the problem. If Earth wasn't the center of the universe, what did that say about humanity? About Scripture? About the Church's authority? Galileo wasn't attacking faith. But truth doesn't ask for permission. At first, the Church warned him. Teach it as theory, not as fact. Galileo agreed, publicly. But privately, he kept writing, kept teaching, kept pushing. Because how long can truth stay silent when the evidence is written across the sky? In 1632, Galileo published his most dangerous work. A dialogue concerning the two chief world systems. On the surface, it was a discussion. In reality, it was a declaration. The heliocentric model, the sun at the center, was clearly favored. And worse, the character defending the Church's view was portrayed as foolish. The message was clear. The Church was no longer amused. Galileo was summoned to Rome. At nearly 70 years old, sick, and alone, he stood before the Inquisition. The charge? Heresy. The crime? Believing what his eyes had seen. Faced with imprisonment, or worse, Galileo was forced to choose. Truth or survival. He recanted. Publicly denied his own discoveries. The rebel who saw the stars was silenced. Galileo spent the rest of his life under house arrest. Blind. Broken. But not defeated. Because ideas cannot be imprisoned. Long after Galileo's death, the world slowly caught up. Science advanced. Telescopes improved. And the Earth kept moving, just as he said it would. In 1992, more than 350 years later, the Church officially admitted Galileo was right. Galileo didn't lose because he was wrong. He lost because he was early. Because when truth arrives before the world is ready, the odds turn against it. So the real question isn't why Galileo challenged the Church. The real question is, how many truths today are still being silenced? Just because the odds aren't ready to change? If this story made you look up at the stars differently, then you already understand why odds